A question, I guess, for the new chancellor and for the mayor. Uh, Certainly, segregation in schools has been a major issue throughout your tenure, Mayor, and look, throughout the recent history of New York City. What are we looking at going forward with this superintendent, this chancellor, who is herself a person of color from New York City schools? How can that help? And what is the course that you want to take to try to address this pervasive problem?
Thank you for the question. I'll start and then I'll turn to Meisha. I think it's fair to say that someone who's experienced the life of our public schools from childhood and as a professional as well is going to help us take the next step in diversifying our classrooms and overcoming the barriers of the past. We made major announcements in the last few months. We are changing screen schools, and more is coming. We are changing the approach to gifted and talented, and more is coming. A brand new approach that will be announced in September. Even though I think the coming months may not be the moment when this happens, I do believe with this new moment of opportunity to re-examine the questions again, the day will come in Albany when we come up with a new plan to change specialized high schools, something the Chancellor and I fought for, because that status quo in specialized high schools represents to me the worst of the past, and it does not represent our city. We have been moving on all these fronts, and we're going to be doing a lot more in the course of this year. And I think our whole society, I think whether it's local government or state government, people are more and more ready for these changes, and we're going to make these changes. So I think it is a moment for profound change. And I know Meisha Porter knows both the academic reality of how we bring fairness and opportunity to kids and the question of how we create justice in our society. She knows how to blend those two together because she's been doing it in her work every day for 20 years, going back even to when she was a youth organizer creating a high school. I mean, think about that. Young people deciding there needed to be a school that really represented them and would uplift them and then make it happen. That's the caliber of our new chancellor. Chancellor, you want to add?
Absolutely. You know, as superintendent of District 11, I worked to ensure that we had an open middle school admissions process. So I believe in ensuring there's opportunity and access. And I think the mayor and the chancellor have already begun to make great grounds in this area. The reality is, you know, segregation exists, and I'm not going to shy away from the importance of really looking at the inequities around admissions processes and really pushing forward for ways we can create opportunities and access for all students across New York City.